Hello and welcome to the Story Shed, and I'm going to be reading you another story from the Native American Stories book by Joseph Bruchac. And I hope you've enjoyed them so far. I think we've done about 2, so this will be the 3rd. This story is called How Grandmother Spider Stole the Sun. When the earth was first made, there was no light. It was very hard for the animals and the people in the darkness. Finally, the animals decided to do something about it. "I have heard there is something called the sun," said the bear. "It is kept on the other side of the world, but the people there will not share it. Perhaps we can steal a piece of it." All the animals agreed that it was a good idea, but who would be the one to steal the sun? The fox was the first to try. He sneaked to the place where the sun was kept. He waited until no one was looking. Then he grabbed a piece of it in his mouth and ran. But the sun was so hot it burned his mouth and he dropped it. To this day, all foxes have black mouths because that first fox burned his carrying the sun. The possum tried next. In those days, Possum had a very bushy tail. She crept up to the place where the sun was kept, broke off a piece, and hid it in her tail. Then she began to run, bringing the sun back to the animals and the people. But the sun was so hot it burned off all the hair on her tail, and she lost hold of it. To this day, all possums have bare tails because the sun burned away the hair on that first possum. Then Grandmother Spider tried. Instead of trying to hold the sun herself, she wove a bag out of her webbing. She put the piece of the sun into her bag and carried it back with her. Now, the question was where to put the sun. Grandmother Spider told them the sun should be up high in the sky. Then everyone will be able to see it and benefit from its light. All the animals agreed, but none of them could reach up high enough. Even if they carried it to the top of the tallest tree, that would not be high enough for everyone on the earth to see the sun. Then they decided to have one of the birds carry the sun up to the top of the sky. Everyone knew that the buzzard could fly the highest, so he was chosen. The buzzard placed the sun on top of his head where his feathers were the thickest, for the sun was still very hot, even inside Grandmother Spider's bag. He began to fly up and up towards the top of the sky. As he flew, the sun grew hotter. Up and up he went, higher and higher, and the sun grew hotter and hotter still. Now the sun was burning through Grandmother Spider's bag, but the buzzard still kept flying upward towards the top of the sky. Up and up he went, and the sun grew hotter. Now it was burning away the feathers on the top of his head, but he continued on. Now all his feathers were gone, but he flew higher. Now it was turning the bare skin of his head all red, but he continued to fly. He flew until he reached the top of the sky, and there he placed the sun where it would give light to everyone. And I hope you like this story about the sun and the buzzard and Grandmother Spider. And if you did, then let me know by writing to thestoryshed@gmail.com. That's thestoryshed@gmail.com. And if you have any of your own stories or poems that you'd like to send in or drawings, that's the same address to send to there. But in the meantime, take care, be safe, be well, and bye-bye for now. Bye-bye, bye-bye.